to Malda. They are at a camp in North 24 Parganas interacting with women at a relief camp. These people are still so scared that they're either unwilling or unable to get back to their homes. A large number of homes have also been destroyed, devastated or damaged in the riots that took place. The NCW team is at a relief camp in Malda. The NCW has also reviewed arrangements that have been made at the shelter for the victims. India Today's Indrajit Kundu now joins me with the latest on the story. Indrajit, so you have a team of the National Human Rights Commission, you have a team of the National Commission for Women, and you have the governor himself visiting Malda and Murshidabad. But for starters, give us details of the NCW team that's interacting with the victims at the relief camp.
Well, that's right. 3 high-profile visits to the strife-torn area in the Malda-Murshidabad belt. Of course, the incident has taken place in Murshidabad. However, some of the victims did flee their homes in Murshidabad and crossed over to the neighboring district of Malda, and that's where they have taken shelter at a shelter home in Vaishnavnagar. Now, early in the morning, there was an NHRC team which met the victims there at the shelter home and interacted and gathered the information. Now what we do see, of course, is that the National Commission of Women team is a 3-member team, including the chairperson. They have reached the Vaishnavnagar camp. They're interacting with the women there. It's important because there are a lot of women and children and infants there who had to take shelter. And the West Bengal government, of course, has told us, in fact, the police did a press conference and told us that there were efforts to bring and rehabilitate these families back to their homes. Some of them have already returned, but not all, because a lot of them have also lost their homes, so they don't have any other place to go. So therefore, they're seeking relief at the shelter at the relief camp. The government, of course, is providing them food and shelter. There is a medical camp that has also been opened right now. And police protection is being provided. But the NCW team that has reached there, they will, of course, be speaking to these women and trying to understand what their complaints are, in what circumstances they were forced out of their house, and whether they're getting proper arrangements right now.
So help me understand this. Initially, the Bengal government and voices that emerged from the Trinamool seemed to indicate that the violence, the arson, the vandalism and the murder was the handiwork of outsiders. There were indications that this was done by Bangladeshis who were facilitated by the Border Security Force and central agencies to cross over into India, carry out the targeted killings and go back. But right now we are being told 2 people had been taken into custody earlier. Now some Imzamamul the person has been taken into custody. What more do we know of him? Is he a Bangladeshi? Is he a local? What role did he have to play in the violence?
Well, Gaurav, you know, the police has been extremely categorical. There was a press conference held by ADG South Bengal, Supratim Sarkar, yesterday, and there has been an action taken report that has been filed before the Calcutta High Court. So things are on paper right now and it's on record. There are more than 300 people that have been arrested from Murshidabad with regard to various cases between 8th and 11th of April, various cases of violence. There are 3 people who have now been arrested specifically with regard to the killing of Haragobindo and Chandan Das, the father-son duo who died on 12th of April, who were killed on 12th of April. And, you know, as far as the police is concerned, they are probing various angles, but they have you know, most of these arrests that have been made, we are told, have been made from in and around that entire locality. So police is tight-lipped about the majority of the arrests, 300-odd arrests that have been made due to rioting. But the specific 3 you know, persons who have been arrested for the murder of 2 people, they are all locals, they are all from Murshidabad, but they were all arrested from either Birbhum, because they can easily sneak into Birbhum, or towards Jharkhand because of the border. A bordering area in Shamsherganj and Dhulia.
Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. It's not just the team of the NHRC or the National Commission for Women. Even the governor of West Bengal, he's in Malda right now. The governor made his visit despite a plea or a request by the Chief Minister not to visit this place right now. But CV Ananda Bose is reported to have said, I will go down on ground, assess the situation myself and then submit a report. We get you more about his visit to the ground, why the Chief Minister did not want it now, and his logic, especially about the cancer of corruption and violence that's hitting the body politic of the state. The political showdown over Murshidabad communal violence is escalating. Bengal Governor CV Ananda Bose on Friday met right victims, going against the call by Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to cancel the visit to Malda and Murshidabad for now. The governor, who took a train, condemned the riots and slammed the state government. Two teams of the National Human Rights Commission and the National Commission for Women also visited the riot-hit areas.
हमने तो उनकी चिंता तो उनके संरक्षण के लिए, सुरक्षा के लिए और सम्मान के लिए हमें तब तक चिंता करनी पड़ेगी जब तक ये सब कुछ पूरा नहीं होता है। तो स्वाभाविक रूप में इन सभी महिलाओं की हमें चिंता भी है।
The Muslim-dominated Murshidabad district witnessed large-scale violence, vandalism, arson and targeted attacks against the Hindu community on the 11th of April. The violence started with protests against the Waqf Amendment Act. The Mamata Banerjee government has set up a special investigation team to probe the Murshidabad violence. She also pledged to rebuild the homes of the victims impacted by the riots.
তা নাহলে আমি নিজেও যেতে পারতাম, তাহলে আমি যাচ্ছি না কেন? আমি তো যাবো ঠিক টাইমে। এখনই আমি যাওয়া মানে তাহলে আমি গেলে অন্যরা কেন যাবে না? আমি অ্যাপিল করব মাননীয় রাজ্যপাল মহাশয়কে, প্লিজ ওয়েট ফিউ ডেজ মোর।
60 FIRs have been registered and more than 270 people have been taken into custody so far. Arrests have also been made in the murder of a 72-year-old man, Hargobind Das, and his 40-year-old son, Chandan Das, in Jafrabad. The police have arrested accused Injamamul Haq, who is alleged to have been involved in the crime.
সেই হিংসার ঘটনার তদন্তে এখনো পর্যন্ত মোট 60টি এফআইআর করা হয়েছে, 60। এবং এই 60টি কেসে এখনো পর্যন্ত 274 জনকে আমরা গ্রেফতার করেছি। রাজ্য পুলিশের এসটিএফ তাকে গ্রেফতার করেছে সুতি থানা এলাকা থেকে, যার নাম ইনজামুল হক এবং বাড়ি জাফরাবাদে যেখানে খুনটি হয়েছিল তার সংলগ্ন এলাকা শুলিপাড়া। সেই শুলিপাড়ার বাসিন্দা।
The Calcutta High Court on Thursday directed the state government to stand by the people of Murshidabad who've been affected by the violence. The court reminded the state government that it was their responsibility to ensure peace in Murshidabad and surrounding districts. The Calcutta High Court also directed the state government to continue patrolling sensitive areas, but it rejected petition by the BJP seeking an investigation by the National Investigation Agency. The tussle between the Governor CV Ananda Bose and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is not new. It's flared up once again, this time over Murshidabad riots.
Calcutta High Court verdict yesterday has categorically stated that if the central government wants to impose and give the investigation to the NIA, it was free to do so, and there was no stopping from the Calcutta High Court, and it would all depend on a governor's report. With camera person Orko, Indrajit, for India Today in Kolkata.
As far as the minority Hindus in Murshidabad are concerned, fear still stalks the streets. Of course, the administration is reassuring people they're there to protect them. They are ensuring that the situation does not flare up again. Those who are alleged to have indulged in the violence, in the arson, and the murder of that father and son. The 72-year-old idol maker. He used to make idols of Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati. Hargobindo Das, 72 years old. He was dragged out of his house and killed. When his son tried to protect him, 40-year-old Chandan Das, he too was dragged out, and they were lynched. They were hacked to death. And that is why people fled in large numbers. Some fled to Malda, some went all the way to Jharkhand. But now an effort is being made to bring them back once again. They want deployment of central forces at all times around their localities. My colleague Suryagni Roy is on ground zero. He sent us this report.
A week back at this particular hour, Dhulian in Shamsherganj in Murshidabad saw massive violence that ransacked the entire area and various parts. Ever since then, there has been a huge deployment of the Rapid Action Force, various other combat forces, and also there's been a deployment of the Central Police Force after a High Court's order. It's 7 days from the day of the incident, and what we see over here is that all the vehicles that we can see in this particular area, all of them are of the police, be it the Bengal police or central forces. This is the Shamsherganj police station, and hundreds of police people have been deployed here to make sure that the situation does not get out of their hands. Since morning, we have seen multiple route marches which have been happening for the past couple of days. Even the MP of this particular spot, Khalilur Rahman, spoke to us and stated that confidence building will be done from their end, from the administration's end, to make sure that the situation gets back to where it was. With camera person Shamsundar Ghosh, this is Suryagni Roy for India Today, Shamsherganj.
We're tracking developments in Murshidabad very closely, but now I want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking here on 5 Live, and that's that big controversy over the National Herald newspaper case. And that case is escalating into a full-blown political war between the BJP and the Congress in Himachal Pradesh. So after Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu's comment on advertisements in the National Herald paper by the Himachal Pradesh government, the BJP has sharpened its attack on the Congress party. And this controversy escalated after the BJP alleged that huge amounts of advertisements were given to the National Herald newspaper by the Congress government in Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu defended giving ads to National Herald, saying Herald was their newspaper and that the Congress will publish ads in the National Herald. What's wrong in it? The BJP then came out all guns blazing, targeting not just the Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister, but also the Congress party leadership. They staged a protest against the Sukhu government in Chandigarh. The protesters burnt effigies of Congress leaders. The BJP launched a scathing attack on the Congress, alleging that Congress had turned National Herald newspaper and assets associated with it into the personal ATM of the Congress party leadership. The BJP slammed Sukhu, saying he'd approved ads for National Herald despite the state being in acute financial crisis. Meanwhile, protests and counter-protests were held across states in connection with the National Herald case.
नेशनल हेराल्ड हमारी अपनी अखबार है, हम उसमें खूब विज्ञापन देते रहेंगे, पहले भी दिया, आगे भी दिया।
अब नेशनल हेराल्ड है क्या? इट्स नॉट अ डेली न्यूज़पेपर, ये दैनिक अखबार नहीं है। अखबार वैसे तो कागज पे छपता है, लेकिन कुछ कागजी अखबार होते हैं, और जो कांग्रेस के राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्री इसके लिए चंदा देते हैं, चंदा में विज्ञापन देते हैं, चंदा नहीं विज्ञापन, वो विज्ञापन किस आधार पर देते हैं? बड़े बड़े दैनिक समाचार पत्रों को जो नहीं मिलता, यानी कि उनको चवन्नी मिलती है, और नेशनल हेराल्ड को चांदी के सिक्के मिलते हैं। और वहीं पर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री जिन्होंने बड़े बड़े वायदे किए थे, या कांग्रेस पार्टी ने, वो 10 गारंटियां आज तक पूरी नहीं हुई। ना महिलाओं को पैसे मिले, ना डीए की किश्त मिली, ना बाकियों को गोबर खरीदा गया, ना दूध खरीदा गया, जो दाम देने थे वो भी नहीं दिए। उसके लिए पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन नेशनल हेराल्ड को विज्ञापन देने के लिए पैसा है।
जो नेशनल हेराल्ड के मामले में जो 2 करोड़ से ऊपर की जो एडवर्टीजमेंट दी गई है, एक कॉपी उनकी आती नहीं है हिमाचल प्रदेश, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी दे दी। और मुख्यमंत्री कह रहे हैं कि मैं जो मर्जी करूं, हमारी सरकार है, हमारा अखबार है, हम इसको जितना मर्जी दें, ऐसा नहीं दे सकते हैं। ये दान देने का अधिकार आपका नहीं है। ये हिमाचल प्रदेश के लोगों के जो है खून पसीने की कमाई है, टैक्स पेयर जो है का पैसा है, और उसको आप इस प्रकार से जो है एक परिवार को लुटाने के लिए नहीं दे सकते हैं।
And I want to quickly cut across to my colleague Asim Bassi for more on this story. Asim, bring us details of the BJP's attack in a cash-starved state. Do we have details of how much ad was placed in the National Herald newspaper, when, and the Congress's defense?
Well, it is that in the past 2 years, there's an education by the BJP that to the tune of around 2 crores, the advertisement to the National Herald was given. And you remember that at one point Chief Minister was appealing that he and his cabinet will not take a salary because Himachal is facing fund crunch. And this is what the BJP's accusation is, that we are a state which has a tremendous fund crunch, we are starving for cash, and this is a splurge, like the way the Congress government is giving advertisements to National Herald. And especially after that, when the questioning was done, the Sukhu, the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, said, yes, it is our newspaper and we will continue to give ads like this. So this has basically provoked the BJP. They also issued various hard-hitting statements that the state like Himachal Pradesh, which faces a lot of fund crunch and even the development works are being hit, and we have often heard Himachal Pradesh demanding for a national package, is basically wasting money on such kind of advertisements. So the BJP has attacked the Congress, which has come under attack heavily on this issue. And today in Chandigarh also, the BJP held a vociferous protest against the Congress on the National Herald issue. Yeah.
Keep tracking that story, Asim. I will come back to you for more on this. I want to shift focus to this big battle that's brewing between the legislature and the judiciary. Rajya Sabha chairperson and Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankar, had expressed very strong reservations about the Supreme Court setting a timeline for the President of India and for governors to give their assent on bills that were sent to them. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said that the Supreme Court cannot fire the nuclear missile of Article 142 on democratic forces, on India's democracy that had given them this, the Constitution had given them this nuclear missile. He pointed out that although the 3-judge bench is probing Justice Yashwant Verma's burnt cash case, such investigations fall in the domain of the executive and not the judiciary. He emphasized that the judiciary should not be conducting investigations. That's point one. He also said that he's also questioned the silence. He said people, there's an apprehension that they could lose faith in the judiciary. Vice President Dhankar argued that judiciary cannot dictate what the President of India should do or should not do. And his remarks come just days after the Supreme Court sought to fix timelines for the President and for governors to give their assent to bills pending with them. He criticized this so-called veto power that the Chief Justice and brother judges had, calling it a very dangerous precedent. Opposition, of course, hit out at Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, calling his statement unethical, saying everyone is accountable and the Supreme Court's word is the last word.
Now the nation waits with bated breath. The nation is restive because one of our institutions to which people have looked up always with highest respect and deference was put in the dock. It is now over a month. Even if it is kind of wounds, even if there are skeletons in the cupboard, time to blow up the can, time for its lid to go out, and time for the cupboard to collapse. Let the worms and skeletons be in public domain so that cleansing takes place. We have judges who will legislate, who will perform executive functions, who will act as super parliament, and absolutely have no accountability because law of the land does not apply to them. There is a directive to the president by a recent judgment. Where are we heading? What is happening in the country? I never thought in my life I'll have the occasion to see it. President of India is a very elevated position. President takes oath to preserve, protect and defend the Constitution. This oath is taken only by President and her appointees, the governors.
Any system should be averse to scrutiny or criticism, but the criticism should be warranted and the scrutiny should be sensible. What the Vice President has ignored is provisions of the Constitution which are interpreted. The timelines are governed by distinct provisions in the Constitution. That is, in that particular case, 200, 201. 200 goes to the governor, and 201 goes to the president. This was an interpretation of those provisions, and whatever I could read and whatever the Vice President has said, I don't see any comment on this reasoning of the Supreme Court on those aspects.
देखिए, संविधान तो सबसे ऊपर है, चाहे पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हो, चाहे सुप्रीम कोर्ट हो, चाहे पार्लियामेंट हो, सबके ऊपर संविधान है। सारे जो लोग हैं सब संविधान के अंतर्गत ही काम करते हैं। इसलिए संविधान की जीत बोलना तो मेरे ख्याल से बिल्कुल सही होगा, क्योंकि संविधान में ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट को वो दिया गया है, पावर दिया गया है कि वो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट को या कोई कानून को रद्द कर सके। तो इसलिए अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट इस संविधान में जो दिए हुए जो पावर है उसको इस्तेमाल कर रहा है तो ज़रूर संविधान की जीत है। लेकिन इसको ये कहना कि विपक्ष की वजह से संविधान की जीत है या विपक्ष की जीत है, ये मेरे हिसाब से कहना गलत होगा, क्योंकि संविधान तो सबसे ऊंचा है, किसी को भी इससे कोई दो राय नहीं हो सकता।
क्योंकि अब 2 जज का फैसला है वो गलत है, क्योंकि सरकार के पक्ष में नहीं है। बट कृष्णा अय्यर का फैसला बिल्कुल ठीक था, वो तो एक ही जज थे। तो ये किस किस्म की बातें हो रही हैं पब्लिक डोमेन में? मुझे तो, मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता एक ऐसा वक्तव्य देना कि अब आर्टिकल 142 is nuclear missile. What was a nuclear missile was नोटबंदी, not 142. अब जो फैसले हो चुके हैं उनको मानते नहीं, जो क्योंकि आप सोचते हो कि वो गलत हैं, और जो आप सोचते हो सही हैं क्योंकि सरकार वो ऐसा चाहती है तो वो सही है।
उपराष्ट्रपति जी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट हो या पार्लियामेंट हो, ये संविधान के मुताबिक चलेगी। और अगर गैर संवैधानिक बिल संख्या के आधार पर आप जबरदस्ती पास करेंगे दोनों सदनों में, तो उसकी समीक्षा करने का अधिकार हमारे देश का कानून और संविधान सुप्रीम कोर्ट को देता है। उनको करने दीजिए समीक्षा, उनका अंतरिम आदेश आया है उसका पालन होने दीजिए।
उनका ये अपना दृष्टिकोण है, लेकिन आज लगभग तमाम अंग्रेजी हिंदी दैनिकों ने इस पर विस्तार से अपना चर्चा की है। राजनीति के एक ऐसे कालखंड में है जहां हमें इन चीज़ों पे बहुत संवेदना से सोचने की ज़रूरत है। एग्जीक्यूटिव हो, लेजिस्लेचर हो, जुडिशियरी हो, यहाँ तक कि मीडिया भी हो। अगर इसमें एक फाइन बैलेंस नहीं रहा तो मेरा मानना है कि किसी को ओवर रीच से बचना चाहिए।
Well, in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, there are leaders who are hitting out at the Pakistan Army Chief General Munir. A leader in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is actually demanding freedom from Pakistan Army. Pakistan Army Chief General Munir has been invoking the two-nation theory in Islamabad to draw a deep divide between Hindus and Muslims. Ajmal Rashid, a leading figure in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir's Awami Action Committee, is launched a scathing attack on the Pakistan Army Chief and army's terror proxies in Pakistan. He says, and I quote, Pakistani forces and the radical groups are using PoJK youth as cannon fodder in Kashmir. While they radicalize and push our children to die across the border, their own children are sent abroad to study. He openly condemned Pakistan's radical Islamist terror and war in Jammu and Kashmir, accusing Islamabad of exploiting the youth of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir in the guise of religion to target their brethren in Jammu and Kashmir. We'll get you more on that story as it develops. I need to slip into a quick break, but don't go anywhere. On the other side, Bangladesh seeks an apology from Pakistan on the 1971 atrocities when millions of then East Pakistan citizens were killed and raped, and worse. Bangladesh also wants compensation, $4.5 billion. Details coming up.
नेशनल हेरल्ड हमारी अपनी अखबार है, हम उसमें खूब विज्ञापन देते रहेंगे। पहले भी दिया, आगे भी दिया।
अब नेशनल हेरल्ड है क्या? इट्स नॉट अ डेली न्यूज़पेपर। ये
Edge 60 Fusion, edge out the ordinary.
Bangladesh has sought an apology from Pakistan for atrocities before the 1971 war. Through 1971 and the birth of Bangladesh, Bangladesh has demanded $4.5 billion from Pakistan over pre-1971 assets and cyclone aid, money that Pakistan has not paid then East Pakistan and has been holding on to that money since 1971. This is a major setback for Pakistan that sought to tie up with Bangladesh to target India. But Pakistan's foreign minister, he is to visit Dhaka on the 27th and 28th of April. And incidentally, this would be the first visit of a Pakistani foreign minister to Bangladesh since 2012. But I want to quote what has been said by the Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh. He said, and I quote, "We raised the historical unsettled issues with Pakistan, including a formal public apology for the atrocities committed during the 1971 liberation war by the Pakistani forces and the pending financial claims," unquote. This is Mohammad Jashimuddin, Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh. He was quoted saying this after his meeting with his Pakistani counterpart. Bangladesh has also made it very clear it wants a formal apology and $4.5 billion that's pending payment. And these are issues that need to be resolved, says Bangladesh, for laying a solid foundation for the Pakistan-Bangladesh relations. But Pakistan has no money. Pakistan, that's begging for each $1 billion, can ill afford to pay Bangladesh $4.5 billion because neither Saudi Arabia nor UAE are willing to give any more zakat to Pakistan. China extracts its pound of flesh. It takes over one more part of Balochistan or Sindh or Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir for giving any money, and Pakistan can ill afford to repay. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar is scheduled to pay an official visit to Dhaka, and this would be, like I said, on the 27th and 28th of April. The first visit by a Pakistani Foreign Minister since 2012. So, this is Bangladesh that's saying, fine, you want to be friends? First apologize for 1971 atrocities. What were the atrocities? And I'll just tell you, it's a shocking eye-opener when millions of women, Bangladeshi women or East Pakistani women, were gang raped by Pakistan Army soldiers as part of Operation Searchlight. They were raped because the West Pakistani said, these are dirty people, let's impregnate them so that the next generation that's born are strong, sturdy Pakistani men. This was the mindset of the Pakistan Army generals. But that mindset actually stays even now. The current Army Chief of Pakistan, General Asif Munir, many call him Maulana Asif Munir. Well, he said the two-nation theory